So in my last video, I was talking about how do you love the narcissist when they don't love you back in the same way. So, you have to remember they're like little babies. They're like little kids. And that's how they react with you. So they're very conditional lovers, and they very quickly change from loving you to hating you. So just like your little kids do that too, if you've ever noticed. They're kind of like mental, just like a narcissist. And when they're getting what they want and they love you and whatever, they're like, oh, I love you. And then when they're not, they're like, I hate you. You're the worst mom ever, worst dad ever. And they just don't know or understand unconditional love because they're little kids and they haven't learned it yet, and they maybe never will because maybe you'll never teach them. I don't know. But narcissists love like a child. They'll be explosively loving you or not loving you and hating you and being mean. So they will love you, right? They'll just love you in a little childlike way. I am hurrying up and going home.
Look,
Yep.
it's so far.
I know. I'm driving, but all we can do is our best.
Mommy, you
I
buy
don't
some pizza.
like.
Mommy, you buy some pizza.
I'll buy some later.
Okay.
So, if you know how to deal with a kid, you know how to deal with a narcissist, basically. And I'm not claiming to know how to deal with kids necessarily, but now I'm like, even in just this very moment, I'm realizing like dealing with kids is hard. Really, really, really hard, especially in the situation I'm in this particular moment. Because, let's see. I'm like, I've been a really good mom. Like, why do my kids hate me? And why is certain things happening that are happening and it doesn't make any sense, right? So I still don't entirely get it, and I'm not going to get into the details of it. I don't want to right now. But, like, some fucked up shit's happened to me. And it does involve with my person. Well, it does involve a person that clearly has a personality disorder of some variety or another. Which variety, I have no idea. I have my speculations, but who cares about that? That's not the point. But the point is, narcissists are like children. They have like a childlike mind, so they get really easily swayed one way or another. They're really impulsive, and because of that, you have to be really clear about that. You have to maintain clarity about that and never forget. You can't forget and treat them like a normal human being. If anyone's normal. I don't know if anyone's normal. I feel like the majority of everyone is one variation or another of a narcissist. Because like even empaths are like sensitive little bitches, and I'm just like, oh my god. You know, I can't keep up with all the sensitivity and the needs and the whatever, even though I do care. So if people were to see a certain aspect of me, they would think I would probably diagnose me as a narcissist. But if they saw other aspects of me, they'd diagnose me as an empath or whatever. Like, who the frick knows? I think the key is to become a nice balance of everything, to use all of those things as they were intended to be used in our favor, so that we can be the best variation of human being that we can be. But as people that are trying to get along in a world full of narcissists, we can't get rid of all of them. We can't just throw them all under the bus and throw them into the streets. We can eliminate some of them, as long as we do it wisely. Please watch my videos on that. Do your diligence, because they're nutty. They're like little kids, and they don't, when they're pissed off, they don't give a fuck. And they end up regretting a lot of this really evil, crazy shit they do, but until then it don't matter. And even when they regret it, they don't take it back. They don't do anything to fix it. because they're like little kids, and they're totally ruled by their egos, and they can't ever admit when they're wrong. Period. Ever. Like extreme levels of rare if they ever do admit they're wrong and actually mean it. Right? They'll say sorry just to get you back, to convince them to keep them around, but do they really mean it? Is what's the problem. They don't. They don't really mean it. So you have to be the mature one, and you can't ever waver. You're deciding to be with the narcissist, and you can't forget that you always have to maintain clarity and be the mature one, because they're never gonna be. And if you have little moments of it, she's like, enjoy that shit. Don't even mention it to them, because the second you mention it, they'll stop doing it. Just enjoy it. And remember, when you want to forget, like, you think that you're, like confused about what's going on, just go, oh, okay. Remember, I'm dealing with a little kid in an adult body, and you don't ever say that to them. They don't want to admit that or know that. That is what you're dealing with. Period. I'm trying to get in my gate. Bear with me. And so, as long as you can take clarity on that, and we're not using that to ever rub it in their faces or bring it up. That's not what's going to get them to change their behavior, grow up. Demonstration of what a grown-up behavior is, and then being impressed by that might, guide them in that direction. But we teach by example, not by calling people out on shit and being little smart-ass bitches. So, not taking any of the shit they do like to heart, not taking it serious, not letting it hurt feelings, maintaining clarity that we're always going to be the mature one. Is vital step in making this work. It's one of the most important steps. You're the mature one. You're the adult. And you don't let them ever know that. For a joy-filled life with a narcissist.